Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the stage show of Matilda the Musical. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't one of these that was a kind of instant classic, must go and see that again. Evidenced by the fact that I haven't seen that again, but I was very, very excited for going to see the movie. But should you go and see it on the big screen or wait for it to come to Netflix? Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above. We're just at the time of year when we're always going to be filming in non-natural light. It's just the way it is. So all the shadows you see, just get used to them. We're here. I also spilt quite a lot of coffee on my phone, so we'll see how this sound is. We don't know. Yes, Matilda the Musical, very excited. It's out now in cinemas, but we don't have long to wait for it to be on Netflix. The difference between the cinema release date and the Netflix release date in the UK is 6 weeks, and in the US is only 3 weeks. So it's a really interesting one. Do you need to go and see this on the big screen, or should you just wait for it to come to Netflix, is quite relevant this time. So yeah, wasn't a massive fan of the stage show. However, kept seeing the trailers for this one, really wanted to see it on the big screen, and I really did enjoy it. I had a really good time. I've seen so many films recently that I haven't loved, and so to go in and be really sort of motivated and enjoy this one was really nice. Obviously, it's got Emma Thompson attached to it, and I like Emma Thompson. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that because they've turned her into a villain, they've put her in a fat suit with hair on her chin. I'm just not sure how I feel about that one. I'm like, could she not have just been a villain anyway? Do you have to be fat with hair on your chin to be a villain? Because, clearly I'm a Miss Trunchbull teacher rather than a Miss Honey teacher, if that's the case. But yeah, that was a little bit like, okay, we've really gone for it. But I understand that we're working off of Roald Dahl's book and then Tim Minchin's writing of the musical. So we need to go off of what they've been described as, so it's not necessarily the film's fault that they have this description. Speaking of to the book, in a book versus movie moment, Matilda has no brother in this show. Now, I think she has no brother in the stage show, but it's been long enough since I've seen it that I can't remember. But just be warned, if you are looking for something that sticks to the book, this does not, because Matilda has no brother. There are also a couple of incidents that happen in the book at school and at home with Matilda that don't happen in the movie musical either. So again, if this were a book versus movie, there's your differences right there. I really liked the sort of set description that they did for the school and the house and the library, and the fact that the library is not like a local library, it's a mobile library that moves, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It's not a spoiler, it's just nice. I like the fact that it's a mobile library, because that is another valid form of library that often people forget about, especially if they are in a more remote community. They can have the mobile library come and visit them. And I really like the set of Cruncham Hall. I thought it was really exciting and really interesting, and I have not yet looked up, but I must remember to once I'm done filming this, where they used for the sex. It looked really familiar, and then the sort of difference in sort of Miss Honey's get up and then Matilda's home life, and again some of the revenge that she gets on her parents is cut down in this to allow for massive musical numbers and things like that. We don't ever see the inside of the chokey in this film either, which if you've read the book, it's quite a lot of description about the chokey, and so it's not too scary. There were a lot of little kids in my cinema. It was basically a full cinema, and there were a lot of little kids, and none of them were terribly scared. There was another sort of single adult on his own across the aisle from me who was loving life. He's obviously a big fan of the show, because at points he was singing a little bit, so just be warned, if you do go and see this in the cinema, you might end up with people singing. If you are going to see this in the cinema, please don't sing along unless it's a sing-along version. That's why I used to like going to those sing-along versions of these things. I saw a sing-along version of Bohemian Rhapsody a sing-along version of The Greatest Showman and a sing-along version of Rocket Man, and they were really fun. So I'm hoping they might do a sing-along version of this. If not, I can watch it on Netflix on Christmas Day and do a sing-along version then myself at home. Even better. Yes, so musical numbers were very good, very well done, very well directed, very well shot. This one has this weird like release time because production was shut down due to COVID, but was then reopened again fairly quickly. So I think they've done a really good job given the fact they were dealing with like the height of COVID while they were filming this. And so people, you know, you can't tell like you can with some things. You really can't tell that there was, you know, distancing and measures going on whilst filming this. I think a good job was done, but the only difference is there were some other people attached to the project earlier on that then weren't able to travel to the UK to film it, and so that's why we've got sort of slightly different people than the original build cast when this was all still in early production. So yeah, so I like the direction, I like the sets, I like the way the songs and dances were choreographed, I like the cinematography. The acting was fine. There was nothing that kind of really stood out for me. Matilda's accent I looked up because I was like, we've got a sort of Southern English accent here, but there's bits of pronunciation that's not quite on point, and I looked up and she's actually Irish, so that made sense. I wasn't sure if she was Welsh just because of the way she pronounced some of her letters in her words, but I thought that was very good, and none of the child actors particularly annoyed me, which is always good going because sometimes children can overact and that really annoys me, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So should you go and see this on the big screen or should you wait for it to come to Netflix? I think that if you're a fan of a musical in general and you like stage musicals, it is worth seeing the cinematography of the song and dance being done on the big screen and hearing the clear sound. I think it's a good introduction to a musical for younger people as well. As I say, the cinema that I was in was full of children and they were quiet and well behaved and they weren't always getting up and down, and so I think it's a great way to kind of introduce that sitting still listening to a musical kind of thing. However, is it necessary that you see it in the 6 weeks before it's out on Netflix? No. Will I be watching it again once it comes out on Netflix? Absolutely I will. I would even possibly go and see it again in the cinema if, for example, my mum wanted to see it or a friend wanted to see it and they wanted someone to go with. I would absolutely go and see it again with them. But yes, so should you pay your cinema going money to go and see it? Yes, if you fall into the category of being someone who loves a stage musical, or you want to take your children or someone's children to go and see it as a kind of like first musical experience type of thing. I think that would be really good. So yes, it was nice to do a really positive movie review. I really enjoyed it. I will be watching it again, probably on Netflix as opposed to in the cinema. But as always, if there is a particular movie you would like me to go and watch and bring my thoughts back to you here next week, do let me know in comments. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my bookish content coming your way. And it is almost time for Vlogmas. So, did you like the way I did Vlogmas last year where I vlogged a week and uploaded those 4 weekly videos? Would you like to see something else for Vlogmas? Do you not care if I do Vlogmas or not? Please let me know in the comments. I will be back with another video for you very soon, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.